Hey guys, it's Carolina here from KarolinasKrafts and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to share with you guys what I made using up these two paper pads, The Magic of Christmas. They're 6x6 paper pads from Echo Park, and this is part of my Paper Stash Smash collaboration because for the month we are smashing 6x6 papers. Now I do have a lot of Christmas paper pads. If you guys saw my video on August 1st, I have a lot of Christmas paper pads I'm trying to work through this month. These are the first two. I'm on my next two now, and I'm still going to try to do the other four. Plus, I don't even know. Time is getting away from me. It's already the middle of the month. But I finished using these two like completely and finished projects. I smashed like another paper pad, but that project is not fully finished yet. Like it needs to be decorated and stuff. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, these Christmas papers that I'm working with, they're for a custom order to make some albums. So that's what I've been working on. All right, so let me share with you guys what I made because they're really cute and you guys are gonna want to make one. You guys are gonna have to make one. Like, yes, go and make yourself an album. Doesn't have to be Christmas theme, just whatever theme you want, but it's so cute. All right, let me get started. Okay, so I pretty much smashed these paper pads. I'm gonna keep the covers. I've been keeping the covers lately and I don't know how to use them, but I know like people use them for like junk journals and stuff, to like stabilize covers and stuff. I don't know. I've been holding on to my covers and just my bin is getting full. But anyway, I have these scraps left over from those papers. And I'm not sure what I want to do with them, but I'm holding on to them. I'm kind of thinking I might cut out like just some Christmas words from the more toned down side. So like the green and the red side, I might just cut out some Christmas words is what I was thinking. But I also have 2 sheets left. Now, because I pulled from some plaids from my stash, I had like a Christmas paper pad with plaids. I did pull in some plaids for my project. And I did that on purpose because I really wanted to keep these 2 sheets and make little note cards with these because these are little 2x2 sized cut aparts that were in this paper pad. I did have to use one of the sheets, so I did use one sheet. I mean, I didn't have to. I could have probably figured out a way to not do that, but I thought one from each was plenty for me to do note cards with, especially if I choose to do it as like a set of 9, or I could do 3 sets of 6. So yeah, I just got to figure out envelopes, like make these and then I got to figure out envelopes, but I really wanted to make little cute note cards with these. So I definitely kept those. It was fantastic that it was in here. And I wish they sold like a 2x2 sheet of this, but they don't. It's just in the 6x6 because the 12x12 doesn't have like a full 2x2 sheet. But anyway, so I kept those 2. And I'll have to make something with that, but I'm still considering it smashed. Then what I actually made with those 2 paper pads are these 2 albums. They are pretty much the same. This one just says joy here, and this one says magic, and then they have different leaves here just because I was using what I have in my stash. And that's what I had. I also added in this this doily that I cut out. It was actually one whole doily, but I cut it in half and I just have it peeking out on one side from each of these. I tried both sides at first and it looked a little weird to me, so I just did the one side, but I think it adds like a nice little decoration on these albums. And that doily is a die set from Scrap Diva Designs. It is her shabby chic doily set, and I think I used, is it this size? I think there's another sheet in here. Yeah, I used the larger size, but you also have a couple of other sizes as well. And you also get the layering piece if you want to cover up the center, but that's definitely like a must-have die to have in your stash. And you could just cut out doilies using your scraps and they're always great to add to projects, and they add a little something something, and doilies are just like a staple. You could also use them as like photo mats and things like that, but I'll have that link down below, and you guys of course could use the code Carolina for 10% off if you guys would like to get anything from Scrap Diva Designs. So I used that, and then here I used her leaves bundle die set. Anytime I have green scraps left over, I just die cut out a bunch of leaves using Scrap Diva's leaf bundle die set. And it should actually be back on a die plate now. So if you guys are looking to get that leaves bundle die set on the die plate, I'm pretty sure it's a die plate now. You could always like message Erica from Scrap Diva and ask her just to confirm, but she did let me know that it should be coming back on the die plate, which was at this point probably like a month ago. But check in with her just to make sure if you want to make sure that you're going to get a plate and not individual dies. But yeah, I love those little leaves. And then I just used some poinsettia flowers from Hobby Lobby that I had in my stash. So let me share with you guys what this looks like on the inside. And here we go. And actually, before I even continue with that, I used my own tutorial for the Bon Voyage Island Adventure mini album. This is the tutorial for the base of this album. I just decorated it differently, obviously in Christmas paper now. And then actually in here, I switched around the signatures. So signature 3 in here is actually my signature 2, and my signature 2 is actually signature 3 in here. So you could always move around your pages as well. But I did that this way in this album, and that way, like when I'm making all these albums, it's not gonna look completely the same as because I have to, like I told you, I have to make 8 of these. So here, this is a cut apart from, is this from the collection? It might be, possibly. Yeah, I think it is. So it says, "We wish you a Merry Christmas." I have a little tag that I tucked behind this, and this is magnetized closed, and it just opens like this. And then here I just have another tag, and then this was in the collection as well, little season's greetings. So like a little booklet. And then this has like a pattern on it. It's just not that visible. And this is great for journaling also. You could journal here. You could journal on this red cardstock here. You could journal here, but I would just add photos. And you could fit good size photos in here. You could do like cropped 4x6 photos, so you can make it like a 4x5. And that would be perfect because you still have the paper border. You could do 4x6, but you would have to, like I said, just crop it down. And that's where I would probably make it maybe 4x5 or I would probably do 4x5 just so you have like a little bit of that border there. But you could fit that size photo on here as well. And then here on this page, oh, there we go. Then here on this page, I decided to die cut out some words. And this word in particular, the North Pole, is a die set from KarolinasKrafts. It is part of her August release for 2025. So I decided to die cut out and include some of those Christmas words in here. So here I have North Pole. I also like die cut out some others. We got Santa Claus, we got Mrs. Claus, we've got another Santa Claus, and then you guys are going to see a couple more words in this album as well. So I'll share with you guys that in a second. And I'll also have this die set linked down below. It is now available on Amazon. So I will link it both Amazon and AliExpress. So I think more people shop on Amazon than they do AliExpress. So I will link both though, just for whatever you prefer. And then I included a little photo mat here. This is another die set I have in my stash, but I just like having these little photo mats because they have like this decorative edge, and I just think it looks so pretty. So I'm just using it as a tuck spot here, but obviously the recipient can glue it down. They can add a photo directly to it. They could take this out completely. They could use it as a journal spot in the pocket instead, like whatever they want to do. But for now, I just have it tucked under there. Then here I have this cut apart booklet, and I just like picked colors, like solids from my stash that I felt like matched-ish. And then another tag that I die cut out. And then here's this page, and here you have another full-size page for some kind of a 4x5 size photo, or smaller. I mean, you don't have to do 4x5. You could do like a couple of 3x3s. You could do 4 2x2s if you want. Like you could do whatever you want. And then here I have a little waterfall with another cut apart, and then just looks like this. So you could add a photo here, you could journal or add photo, and then you could add more photos here and here. So that's like a nice spot for a few photos right there. Then here's another one of the words I use. So this one says Santa Claus, and again, I just made it into a little text spot. That way somebody can add their photo directly behind there if they need to. Like for example, like this, like a 4x5, you would need that, but that would look really cute. Or you could just add your photo here and whatnot. So there's options. And then here, another cut apart. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And then another little tag. I just like including tags because when you add your photos, like let's say somebody is doing their 4x5 size photo, for example, right? So maybe they just want to do that, but they want a journal spot. You could glue this down on 3 sides, and then you could have like a hidden journal spot like at the top there, like a little pull tag. So people don't have to read your words, but you know that they're there, so that when like somebody's looking at your album, like it's kind of like a little hidden spot for you to like jot down some information about that photo, maybe something somebody said, or you know, whatever it is. So I like to include tags because they just make great journal spots behind photos. Then this next page here, this is like a flip out page, and then this also pulls out, so you have additional space for photos here, and then if you wanted to, you could add one to the back as well. Plus you have this space for photo, and honestly you could add a photo directly, what am I just missing that? Directly on the cover here too, and you could fit a 4x5 on here as well. And then similar feature here, except this one doesn't pull out, it's just a flip. So it looks like that, but you have space to journal or add photos, and then same thing here, and then you could also do that on the front here. And then here you have another space for a full-size photo. And then this next page, we've got like a little pocket here. Actually, this is one difference between this album and the other album. The other album, I cut it a little differently, and I didn't need to add this gold strip, so it was just this paper. But this one, I cut it differently, and so I needed to substitute, so I just added gold. I have some extra words here. I got Mrs. Claus and Nutcracker. That's also part of the KarolinasKrafts Christmas words die set, and I didn't know if people wanted these words in the album, so I kind of just included it, but they can put it wherever. They could use it as text spots. I was personally thinking it would look really good on the back here, but then I added the word elves here. But you know, people could do whatever they want, and you could also fit a 4x5 here, maybe a tiny cropped 4x5, so maybe like a 3x5 for that spot. I don't even know if I have a 3x5. I do not, but you could do a 3x5, or you could do a 3x4. You know, you get the idea. But that one says elves. That's another word from the collection. So I just included a couple of these blank words so they could put them wherever. And then I have another little tag here and another journal card here with a couple of words. Okay, so then that looks like this. And then here. And then here, another feature that pulls out completely. So you have all that extra journal space. And I did use magnets in my albums. I used 2 sizes. Mainly, I used the 1/2-inch size. So that's pretty much everywhere except for this page here, because 1/2-inch was too big to have on this little spot right here. So on that little spot, I used a 5/16 of an inch. Because the 1/2-inch would have just been too big. to go there. So these two is what I use, but mostly everything else I use the 1/2 inch. And I'm gonna have these linked down below. These are from Total Element magnets. You guys know they are my favorite magnets. And of course you guys could use the code KarolinasKrafts for 10% off your order for magnets. But I'm gonna have these two sizes linked down below. These are the two sizes that I use. I think I also forgot to mention that I'm gonna have this cutting guide linked down below as well in case you guys would like to make your own. It has a link to the tutorial video in this cutting guide as well, in addition to like all like the measurements and stuff like that. The tutorial is free on my channel, so you don't have to get the cutting guide, but if you want to sit there and like write down all the measurements, I mean, you could totally do that. I just find the cutting guide so much easier to use. I like to just have a stash of them ready to go, and then like I know exactly like what I need to do to make the album when I want to make another one. You can make a little book out of these. You could bind them if you want. You could spiral bind them. You could just put them in a binder, punch holes. You could just staple them, put them in clear sleeves or not, and just have a stash of them. Right now I literally just have a pile of my own cutting guides, and whenever I want to make a project of a certain album, I just go through my own cutting guides. And I was able to make, like when I was making the album bases for these, I made 11 bases, you guys. Let me actually show you guys that real quick. So I have cut out all of my signature pages because like I said, I have to make a lot of these. So I have all my first signature pages. I've got all my second signature pages, and then all my third signature pages. And obviously I can move these around however I want. And then I already have a bunch of bases prepared with the chipboard and stuff ready for me to just use, because like I said, I'm working on a lot of albums right now. So when you have these cutting guides, it is so easy to make multiples of like the same album. And what I really like to do, even if I wasn't making 8 right now, like I ended up making 11 bases because I wanted 3 extra for me. 8 I already know are going to be getting used, and then for a custom order, but I made 3 extra for myself so I could put them on my project cart, and when I want to use them, I have a base ready to go that I can just paper mat. And I always do that when I make bases. I always make some extra for me because they're just a lot easier when you're making your projects and stuff. That way you don't have to make a whole entire album from scratch, plus do all the paper matting and stuff. Sometimes it's just a little easier to have the bases already made ahead of time, on hand, ready to go. Okay, so anyway, back to this. This looks like this. Oh yeah, we did this page already. This was the flip out. Then here we have a pocket. This was a cut apart that I had from my stash. I don't know what collection this is from, but I thought it went pretty well. And then just opens up like that. I added in a blank photo mat here, so you could add that wherever you want. And then another little tag. Actually, this photo mat, if you wanted to add a 4x5, oh, it's like almost a 4x5 size. So I guess if you were gonna add a photo on here, you could do a 3x4 and have a border if you would like, or just literally cut the photo to this size, like line this up, cut it, and then cut that photo just a little bit smaller to fit right on the inside of this border. So you could do whatever you want, or you could just use it as a journal spot. So I have all those goodies in that little pocket here. And then here I just got a belly band with another little booklet from the collection and a large tag. So that just lives in here. And then I didn't have enough paper to do a pocket here. But yeah, I think on the other album I just did a pocket on the back. I didn't have enough paper though. With the last album that I did, when I did this one, I had a couple of extra full-size sheets that I purchased to go with that collection with the 6x6 pad, and then I had a couple of 12x12s. But right now I'm only working with 6x6, so I need to pull like where I can. Like you guys saw, I needed to pull some plaids throughout this album, just a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit, like on the front cover here, on the inner back cover, And there's a couple of other pages where I did a green plaid and then another one like I did like a burgundy plaid. So yeah, I needed to pull some other sheets to complete this album, but it worked out. And I made 2 of them. So these 2 are now ready to go. I'm happy I was able to smash another 2 6x6 paper pads. And that is it for this video. I'm going to have everything linked down below. The Scrap Diva dies, the KarolinasKrafts dies, the magnets I used, everything is going to be linked down below so you guys can check that out, as well as the cutting guide and tutorial for this album as well. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next crafty video. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.